Hi there, I'm Dr. Ute, an accredited and chartered psychologist for counselling and coaching, a fellow of the higher education, and all in all, a quite quirky therapist. These short videos are talking about important qualities around mental well-being and mental health. If you have a question or if you want to have a topic here on my YouTube channel, just send me a message. Enjoy. Hi guys, let's talk about anxiety. So many types of anxieties, right? You have social anxiety. You have all these different phobias. You have performance anxiety, exam anxiety, anxiety. So many different types, for which, of course, we have self-help books in order to help us with all these different fears. But are they different? Is it really true that all these different anxieties with which we are running around need to be looked at with different tools? Many people who work with me and come to my clinic say the following sentence: Ute, I want you to help me to get rid of anxiety. And one of my first questions is, why? And if this has a reaction in your body, maybe even a little bit of anger, great. Because this means I have triggered something in you. Let's think about what anxiety actually is. Anxiety is an emotional reaction to danger, right? Anxiety, like any other emotions out there, is nothing else than a data point that tells us of how we are interacting with life and how life interacts with us in this moment in time. So, if we wouldn't have it, we would miss out on a huge part of information. The reason why we don't want it, it's because it's uncomfortable. It robs us sleep. It changes the way we eat. It has an effect on our sex life. It even changes how we sit, walk, look at other people. It influences decision making, how we are with other people. It influences self-esteem, the way we step into the world. And if we are fighting and running for a long time, it probably can take us to depression. So anxiety is, of course, a very difficult emotion to bear. I fundamentally, however, disagree with many therapists, counselors, psychotherapists, and psychologists that it is a negative emotion. Difficult, yes. Negative, no. Imagine what would happen if you'd run around without anxiety, fear, if it wouldn't exist. Good luck crossing Piccadilly Circus. you would probably be run over by a car, cyclist, not by a bus driver. These guys are really good, aren't they? Because we would not work danger very well. That makes sense, right? If you are willing for a moment to bracket this idea of anxiety being evil, negative, my enemy, something I have to fight, I have to get rid of, I shouldn't have it. If we could bracket this for a moment and push it to the side, not losing it, you can't lose it anyway, let's just face it, but push it to the side for a moment so you have maybe some space to allow something else in. We would realize that anxiety is coming after an evaluation of danger. Now, danger is evaluated, of course, in our brain. We have a very quick way of getting the danger signal in, which does not necessarily has an evaluation in the prefrontal cortex. So what I mean with that, you know, when you, I don't know, walk along and all of a sudden something is on the path in front of you and you have this moment. And then you realize, okay, it's not a snake, but it's a stick. That moment is, as the researcher LeDoux says, is a very quick way of getting the danger signal through the amygdala into being, into our world. It's fast, it doesn't differentiate very well, but it of course keeps us safe. A slower way of evaluating danger, which is of course also done with the amygdala, is when our prefrontal cortex, so the part that sits right here, evaluates the situation on a higher cognitive level. Meaning, I now recognize it's a stick, not a snake. It is a bit slower because different parts of our brain region need to work together. But once the evaluation of danger has been done and our brain gives the thumb up, the pituitary gland, which is a gland in our body as tall as a pea, but very, very bossy, starts to trigger the physiological qualities that we are then feeling as an anxiety experience. The reason why I'm telling you that is because what we need to understand that this system, pituitary gland, and of course the release of adrenaline also, is such an autonomous system that we cannot really interfere here. The moment you think, I should react differently, what you are actually asking yourself to do is to work something which has to run its course. Why do we want to waste energy in changing something that is automatic? What we could do is to work with the experience of the anxiety once we have it differently. Does this make sense? Do you notice the differentiation here? But in order to come to a place where we allow ourselves to manage the anxiety, we need to be willing to bear the actual experience in the moment. Not to fight, to run, to tell ourselves off, there's nothing wrong, why am I anxious again, oh my goodness, I've done so much therapy, it didn't work, look, I'm back again. All of this unhelpful, non-functional evaluation of the anxiety experience will do one thing only. It will increase your anxiety. I'm going to say a sentence which is probably a bit weird. When anxiety comes in, we need to bring a quality into our life that we start to relax into the unwanted. Let me say that again. When the anxiety comes in, we need to bring a quality into our life where we relax into the unwanted. I know this is hard to hear, and believe me when I tell you, I know it is hard to do. But if you are carrying on fighting something that is fundamentally an experience that is based on danger appraisal, you are having a tug of war with yourself. And that's a war you simply and purely are going to lose. Because at the end of that war is pure exhaustion. Now let's step into the idea of how do I do anxiety so I have agency still, rather than it takes agency over me. I would like you to think about a concept, a differentiation of hypothetical versus concrete anxiety. Let's start with concrete. You're writing an exam, or you're doing something you've never done before, or you're going to a date, or you have a very difficult conversation, going to a surgery, or you have pain in your body. All of these things are linked to a concrete situation, a concrete problem, a concrete definable danger point, right? That's concrete anxiety, right? So that anxiety, again, I hold in my heart that it's not nice, and it's difficult and uncomfortable. Yet this type of anxiety is deeply rooted in how you are living life in this moment. So it is part and parcel of reality. This is different to hypothetical anxiety. Hypothetical anxiety is when your brain or your mind spins out within milliseconds. And at the moment you were worried at the beginning whether the coffee is good enough, and 4.5 seconds later, the world is doom and gloom. There is no answer. It's just getting worse. And your heartbeat is getting faster. The vision is getting less able. You are hyping up. Hypothetical anxiety very often is represented in your linguistic network, so in your thinking with the yes but, yes but, yes but, yes but, yes but. It has no connection to reality. I'm pretty sure you have had this experience. So let me say this again. Concrete anxiety is anxiety that is linked to a problem. Hypothetical anxiety is a yes, but, and it's a spiraling out, and it has, whilst it might start with reality, it goes off. A way to manage anxiety is when you notice your mind goes into overdrive, into that hypothetical, hyping, total spiraling anxiety experience. And that's the one which has really negative effects on our mental well-being. What you can do for you is to come back and to say, okay, what is a real problem in my life right now? Link your mind, your brain in this moment to a real problem that you can solve. If it's as much as, okay, the problem is that I have to hand in these documents to my lawyer. The problem you have to solve right now in this moment is to sit down and open the computer. Can you do that? The next problem you have to solve is to find the documents. Can you do that? The next problem you have to solve is to write the email to your lawyer. Can you do that? The next problem you have to solve is to attach these documents. Do that. And then press send. What you are doing in the background is you are taking agency over your brain, and you give your brain tasks that it can actually solve, problems for which there is a solution. And this grounds you back in reality. And it moves you away from that hypothetical, kind of manic-driven anxiety, which goes to nowhere land and really pulls you down. I told you it's a bit weird, but trust me, when your mind and your brain start spiraling out into hypothetical anxiety, give your mind the task to solve a concrete problem now. Thank you for watching.